Hey world, I'm so excited to welcome you back to the Whole Well channel. This is You Know Whole Well, and today we're going to be talking about how you know whole well decriminalization of marijuana isn't enough. So let's start by talking about what is decriminalization. It's the removal of criminal penalties, which means although it's still classified as illegal, there will be no criminal penalties for it. It's still classified as a Schedule 1 drug, which means it's likely to be abused and there's no medical value, and researchers need a special license in order to study it. Even though this is the case, it has been legalized for medical use in 33 states and Washington, D.C. It's been used to treat seizures associated with two rare forms of epilepsy, nausea and vomiting associated with chemotherapy, chronic pain associated with tight and stiff muscles from multiple sclerosis, migraine, and some forms of cancer. It's also been used to treat anxiety associated with PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, this drug was approved by the FDA in a couple forms. One is called Epidiolex, which was approved in 2018 for the use in patients with epilepsy, and in Marinol, which was approved in 1986 for use in nausea and vomiting for chemotherapy patients. It was banned in 1937 for medical use because of inconsistent potency. So, how do they determine how potent marijuana is? So, they regulate it in two different ways, by the THC and by the CBD content. What is THC and CBD? So, there are chemical compounds found in marijuana called cannabinoids. Two of the most prevalent are THC and CBD. So THC is the psychoactive, which gives you the high feeling, that gives you the euphoria. CBD is what helps counter the addictiveness that might be associated with marijuana. So when they determine how much of each substance is in a certain strain that they're analyzing, they use a gas chromatograph, which gives a percentage of how much of that substance is in that sample. So, for example, a mild a mild sample would have 3 to 10% THC. Moderate would have 10 to 16% THC. Strong would have 17 to 20% THC, and very strong would have 21 or more percent THC. Now, the average strain only contains about 12% THC. So most strains that you might find are going to be moderate. CBD, the legal form, which you might find in like gas stations and stuff like that, they legally can contain no more than 0.3% THC. So how do THC and CBD interact with each other? THC binds with the receptors in your brain to be able to give you that feeling, that euphoria. CBD does not connect well with those receptors in your brain. So in order for CBD to be effective, there has to be a certain amount of THC also included so that the CBD can connect with the THC, which can then connect to the receptors in the brain. So with that being said, there are also some risks associated with the purchase of marijuana, especially since it's not regulated. So now you currently have people who are growing their own marijuana or who buy it from other people who are growing their own in their homes. The risk of contamination is the same as if you were to go to a restaurant and purchase food from maybe an unknown source. You don't know, if it's not regulated, what exactly they're doing, what kind of safety procedures they have in place. You could risk contamination from microorganisms or from pesticides. And then just the basic, you're not sure what the potency level is. Because let's be honest, if you're getting marijuana from somebody on the street or some random person that grew it from their home, they're not giving you a percentage of THC when you make your purchase. So that's one of the reasons why I feel like marijuana needs to be regulated. It's great that it's decriminalized, but that doesn't solve the problem. If they're going to use it in a medicinal way, in order for scientists to be able to study it further to see what is effective and what is not, what percentages are required to treat certain kind of ailments, there needs to be a system in place where you know exactly what you're getting so that it can be the most effective. Right now, as I stated before, it's currently a Schedule 1 drug. Just to kind of give you some insight on what that means, Schedule 1 is the highest. It goes from Schedule 1 to Schedule 5, Schedule 5 being the lowest. Schedule 2 drugs are cocaine, methamphetamines, methadone, which is given to heroin addicts, and fentanyl. And we've all heard of different stories about people overdosing, people dying using those drugs. That's Schedule 2. Marijuana is Schedule 1, which means they consider marijuana worse than fentanyl, methadone, cocaine, and methamphetamines. My suggestion is that they downgrade marijuana to Schedule 3, which would enable doctors, scientists, specialists to be able to study it more and determine exactly how well or how not well it would be effective in treating certain ailments. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Let me know how you feel about this content in the comment section, and make sure you hit the notification bell in order to get more content.